Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome into the Auburn Blitz. I'm Randy Lee alongside JJ today. Glad to have you up here, JJ, because we will talk Auburn athletics as we do every day on this program, but there's so much going on in the world of sports right now that also revolves around Auburn athletics, recruiting, craziness that's going on. It feels like in every angle that you and I are involved in. But I did want to start the program today just to get your overall feel about Curt Cignetti and the amazing championship that they pulled off at Indiana this year.
I'll say this. I saw a story on the lead up to the championship game. His two coordinators have been with him for 10 years. Since he went to IUP, right? Left Alabama and took the head job at IUP. Saban told him he was crazy. Those two coordinators, the offensive coordinator that first year at IUP made $6,000. They asked him, how'd you make it? He said, well, my wife had a job. He goes, and frankly, we were on food stamps for a little while. And,
Unbelievable.
And now he's going to make about $2 million next year.
Yes.
But he made $6,000. The defensive coordinator made $8,000 that first year at IUP.
For him to take that job, do you know the amount of confidence that you have in yourself? Right. And then for those coordinators to have that much confidence in you.
Yeah. And I don't know, look, everybody now is like, well, we need to do what Indiana's doing. I don't know if it's repeatable, even at Indiana, because, he brought 15, 20 players from James Madison when he came over. He doesn't have an endless supply of former players out there that he can go pull.
That know his system, know exactly what and they know the player that they're getting and strengths and weaknesses. Because be honest with yourself, if you're grabbing a guy from South Florida or James Madison, I'm not knocking either program. South Florida, a better program, yes, than James Madison, but still, when you take those guys, there's a reason that they weren't as highly recruited as some others that you get. Right. But you know those strengths and weaknesses.
And they know your system, and they understand the expectations and the culture that you're trying to build, and it all works. Now, I'll say this for Cignetti. His ability to evaluate talent, and that this is probably why he was Saban's recruiting coordinator for 3 years, but the corner, the one that picked off the first pass against Oregon, was a Miami kid that none of the big schools recruited.
I think same one that had the interception in the ballgame.
That's right, because he's only like 5'8.5", right? 5'8.5", 5'9". So the bigger schools stayed away from him. Cignetti looked at him and said, "I don't know what y'all are seeing, but I see a corner." Yeah. And so his ability to evaluate players in that way that maybe are lacking something in size, or but he sees other finer points. It's the greatest turnaround in the history of college football. There's no question.
I don't think anybody can deny that. And here as an Auburn fan, I'm really proud and watching what Golish is putting together. I got a lot of confidence that potentially it could be the right thing. But you as an Alabama fan, JJ, you got to look at the coaching tree that has come off of Saban, and to watch the way that they go about their business, and certain processes seem to work better than others, and it's hard to watch Cignetti and not think of that coaching tree and what you're seeing.
I think the biggest thing, and you see it with successful coaches, not just the one from Saban's tree, but other coaches that are successful. There's a level of accountability, and I don't care if the player's getting paid or not. If you're a good coach, you're going to hold players accountable, and they're going to hold each other accountable, because successful people want to be successful. I mean, that's what you're really looking for. What you're evaluating is, am I getting someone who wants to be successful and who's willing to do what it takes? And and then you still have to have talent, but I got to have that attitude. I can go get all the talented guys I want, and we see it every year. You see guys jumping school to school to school to school, for an extra $100,000 here and there. maybe those aren't the guys you want.
No, I totally agree, and that's the reason a lot of them aren't getting picked up. And we brought those players up yesterday that have left Auburn and still haven't found a home out there in the transfer portal, and which ones of them would Auburn want back. And Jim and I couldn't come up with a single name that we thought Auburn would ask to come back. And that's going to happen every year. But you set up a really good segue for me to move into Auburn basketball last night.
Yeah.
JJ, Auburn goes on the road to get a big win against an Ole Miss team that had won 3 in a row. We're 3-2 in the conference. Both of us had an 11-7 record going into the ball game last night. And the segue that I'm bringing up is there's an internal culture at Auburn, even if Bruce Pearl's not at the lead.
Sure.
But every other coach that's been inside that culture, and the expectation is we may go adrift for a short period of time, but by God, we're going to get it back on the path, and we're going to start back developing, and we're going to see players that maybe have a weakness that within a few weeks you see that weakness lessening and lessening out there on the court. And we're shooting the ball about as bad as any SEC team could right now from three-point range. But we're putting a lot of the other pieces together and have even this thing back out to 500 in SEC play, 12-7 overall. It was a great win on the road for Auburn last night.
Well, it was, and I think final was, 78-66?
Yep.
Or whatever. Yeah, I think basketball that's the thing with basketball, and I think there are a lot of people in the state of Alabama on both sides of the state that are kind of new to being college basketball fans within the last 15 or so years,
yes.
right? 10, 15 years. And it's not football. Every loss is not devastating. You're going to lose games. The goal is to put yourself in a position to get in the tournament with a high enough seed that you have a chance to advance. That's your goal, and that's going to take getting better over the course of the year. Florida last year did not look like a national champion at the beginning of the year.
No.
But, boy, in that second half of the season.
Well, by the time Auburn played them there at Florida.
Yeah.
And we had, of course, one of the top 5 teams all year last year, and they ran us out of the gym.
Yeah.
You pointed, oh, gosh, this is not normal. And we didn't play all that bad.
Yeah.
We didn't shoot it all that bad, and they still beat us the way that they did. And it's what proved to be the difference as we moved on. And, you got to keep that into consideration of where you've been and where you are and where you're looking to go. And where we are right now as an Auburn fan base is a spoiled fan base with basketball
right.
that we expect to make NCAA tournaments. And look, I'm here to say that I hope we remain spoiled.
Yeah.
And I think that we can. But expectations can't be 30-plus wins this year. There's a lot of pieces you had to put together just to put a quality enough squad out there to be where we are. But if Auburn gets to 9-9 in the conference, 10-8 in the conference, 21 or 22 wins, and sneaks their way into the NCAA tournament, JJ, speak up. That has not been the norm for Auburn and Alabama over the last 30 years until Bruce Pearl and Nate Oates came into play.
I thought, as an Alabama fan, I thought I was spoiled by Wimp Sanderson.
Mm-hmm.
We had the 4 SEC tournament championships.
Amazing talent.
Sweet 16 appearances and, fun teams and, and the Ories and the Spreewells and the, and all this. But, and then to do what Nate Oates has done has just gone to a whole other level. So, yeah, it's you can get spoiled by that, but it's always, and we can bring it back to football, it's always good to also recognize the landscape of what's going on in the sport. SEC is going to 9-game conference schedules next year. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is difficult for me to imagine a 12-0 SEC football team.
Agree.
Anywhere in the near future.
I think it's going to be difficult, and, just to stay with basketball for a few more minutes, and we will hit a lot more on that game last night and some superlatives. But coming into today, the topic out there, at least in the world of sports that I'm living in, the water cooler talk, is what in the world is going on with players that have been gone from programs like with Alabama, like with Baylor, guys that have been in the G League, have made professional dollars, going to the courts, and the court saying, look, I'm putting my hands up and saying, I don't know how to make a decision on this, so the decision I'm going to make's go back and play. And that was a crazy story that popped up today.
It is, and the situation at Baylor that happened, you knew As soon as that happened, that's just the beginning. Because once that happens, we saw it with Vanderbilt's quarterback, with the extra year. Well,
Diego Pavia.
JUCO shouldn't count, and all this. And now we're seeing it with Trinidad Chambliss on I guess he had a mono or something.
1 year.
So, but this is the problem when you don't have the ability to enforce your rules, because the NCAA has, for a long time it was just, we'll make up the rules and then we'll enforce them as we go. The problem you have now is that the membership of the NCAA is like, but can you really enforce it? And I'm afraid that it's in order to be able to have rules that are enforceable, it's going to take legislation. I think it's going to take antitrust. I think you're going to have to get an antitrust exemption to be able to do some of this. And I don't, depending on U.S. Congress to do something is,
Good luck with that. Depending on the government in general, which we'll go into a segment here coming up. And I said it on the program yesterday. The idea that the state of Alabama is going to step into high school athletics, and anyone here in the state of Alabama feels good that our government can run it better than the private organization that's been running it for over 100 years.
And don't think for a minute that ultimately at the college level, high school level, it is all tied to revenue.
I know it.
Political donations, school donations, NIL donations, scholarship donations. Money is behind all of it.
It sounded like the legislator that came out with that bill to try to ask for a lot of participation on the central board has backpedaled that after meetings with them last week. So maybe that helps the decision that's coming down the pipe for high school athletics here in the state. It gives it a little breathing room so we can make a quality decision for public and private schools here in the state. But as we go to break, Charles Bediako has been granted a temporary restraining order and is immediately eligible to participate for Alabama basketball. He's been in the G League. I think he was last on Alabama's team in 2023. Yeah. We'll talk about that when we come back and how this would play out for the rest of the colleges, including Auburn. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Adams Motorsports of Montgomery knows it's the best time to ride. Right now, get the best deals on all of our Suzuki and Kawasaki street bikes, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and dirt bikes. Adams Motorsports has it all, and our inventory is vast. Get out there, ride the streets and trails, and let Adams Motorsports make your pleasure our business. With family customer service and service after the sale. It's time to ride, so come see us on Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery or online at adamsmotorsports.com.
L&M Pawn and Gun, located in the USA Factory Stores in Opelika, is East Alabama and West Georgia's complete gun, tactical, and pawn shop. It invites the region to shop over 500 firearms in stock, on the floor, and ready for sale at the market's best values. At L&M Pawn and Gun, we specialize in all tactical guns, equipment, and parts, including AK-47 and AR-15s. Specialized parts for tactical guns as well as suppressors and other parts you can't find anywhere. L&M Pawn and Gun has it all in the USA Factory Stores in Opelika, or shop online, lmpawnandgun.com.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Berner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Looking for hometown service and name brands you can trust? Come to Presley Appliance and Furniture. From the best choice in appliances from Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and KitchenAid to home furnishings, Presley's is your one-stop shop for comfort and quality. And now we've added the Mattress Shop by Serta Simmons Bedding and top quality sheets and pillows from Caraloha. Shop Presley Appliance and Furniture on Cherokee Road in Alex City or online at PresleyAppliance.com. That's PresleyAppliance.com.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed, and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Visit our new locations in Gadsden and Oxford today.
At Glenn Smith Chevrolet, let's kick off 2026 with a bang. We will not be undersold. Chevy Traverse with 3-row seating up to $7,250 off. The impressive Chevy Equinox up to $5,500 off. Enjoy no payments until springtime. Get your lowest price guaranteed today. Smart people from all over the USA come to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to smile.
Two 256-234-6221 is our phone number. I want to thank J.A. Smith Construction, Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. It's going to be freezing this weekend. And, JJ, tune in. Kalijah Country Lake Broadcasting here for all of the news that you'll have coming down on potentially iced roads upwards.
Good news.
Yeah, give me some good.
Morning. Here's the good news from James Spann, is that the model is now showing the ice and snow shifting further north.
Great.
Still hitting North Alabama, but not extending as far. The model I saw this morning didn't even have us in the
iced area.
Yeah. So
because yesterday the worry was we could have as bad of ice conditions as we've had in the last 30 years.
Yeah. And then, who knows, man?
That's right. It could change. Could change overnight, but stay tuned in out there. And but back to my Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you're having troubles with your heater right now, call on them in the Auburn Opelika market as well as the Lake Martin market. 334-487-3555 is the phone number. So give them a call out there. And Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation can come out and help you. Back to Charles Bediako. 2023, the last time that he graced an Alabama uniform, but how is this playing out in the courts right now, JJ?
Well, the judge in Tuscaloosa has issued a temporary restraining order, basically making him eligible to participate immediately. Now, my understanding is it's a 10-day order.
Yes.
So by next week, it's going to have to go through another process. And I think what that 10 days is doing is basically giving the NCAA an opportunity to make its case of why he should not be eligible.
What's his story? What do you remember his story being? Like, did he have multiple years left and he came out early? And
I know he had at least one.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if he had one or two. Always thought it was odd that he decided to turn when he did, because I thought he was probably a year away from
being good enough to do it.
Being a draft pick,
Yeah.
right? But, you never know, man. Sometimes your agent or somebody gets in there.
Just the right person says the thing at the right time to
You
you.
make a bad decision,
Yeah.
and then you're stuck with it. Well, maybe you're not stuck with it anymore. So
He wasn't drafted,
no.
but he's been in the G League.
But he's been in the G League, and as I understand the story, the way I read it this morning, he never signed an actual NBA contract. He did sign a G League, one of those two-way deals, and has played the last 2 years in the G League. I don't know how that's not professional basketball, but it's not NBA, but it's not. You're telling me it's not professional basketball?
So, yes, the question becomes for those Auburn fans out there going, well, what about Bryce Brown? What about Jared Harper? What about – you can go down the list of Okeke or players that have left early. You got some that went the NBA route that got drafted. If they're saying that those aren't eligible players, I brought this name up to JJ during the break. I was like, what about Austin Wiley? Don't remember him making it into the NBA. If he's been playing overseas, could a post player like that we need, like Alabama needs right here?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Alabama's not taking this scrutiny because it's not a need position.
Look, if I'm Nate Oates, I'm going, wait a minute, I can get an experienced 7-footer who knows my system and who's in game shape.
That's probably making $100,000 a year, and I can pay him $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just throwing just throw a whole number out there.
Yeah.
The player can make a lot more money in the college game than he can do.
There is no doubt Charles Bediako on Alabama's team makes them better.
Yeah.
Demonstrably better.
I'm going to take an angle here, JJ, that you may not expect. But I'll say this. When you go to the courts, and all of these rules seem to be changing, well, you take someone of his age bracket, Auburn, Alabama, wherever they were playing, the decision's not to come back based off of your inability to get paid to play. And if you go overseas, you may only be making a couple $100,000 a year, which I'm not sneezing on.
Yeah.
But if you were in the college game right now, you could be making $2 million a year. So
and that was part of his lawyer's argument.
I honestly can see that from the player's standpoint. I hate this. This is disgusting.
It stinks.
There's no part of JJ and I aren't arguing whether we like this and it's good for his Alabama team and not good for our Auburn team. But I'm sitting back and going, man, what if I was a marginal player?
Yeah.
And now these opportunities.
Diego Pavia, right? You want to know why Diego Pavia sued to get another year?
Money.
Because he could come back to Vandy and get paid.
Yes.
And get a large paycheck. Diego Pavia is not going to be an NFL quarterback. So he maximized his college earnings, right? I can't blame him for trying. It's kind of the old, what's the old saying? Hate the game, not the player.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where you are. You've got to play the game the way the game is there. Everybody is going to try to do the best they can for themselves and their family. But you got to, at some point, we've got to have a set of rules that everybody understands.
That doesn't change every month.
That doesn't change every time a judge in Tuscaloosa or Oxford decides to change it.
Yeah.
And it just, there has to be some sense brought into this whole thing.
There's not a lot of common sense out there in the world today. No. It's one of my father's favorite sayings.
And I've said it for a long time. I don't think the problem is the players getting paid.
Yeah.
I think you've got two problems in college athletics right now primarily. One is the transfer portal. You should have one free transfer. You get one.
Agree.
You get one, and that's your college career. And then two, these collectives. It's not the players getting paid. But these collectives are about as underhanded as it gets.
Pretty much contract. And it's just money. You're not generating your own NIL dollars.
I mean, is Duke going to really sue Darian Mensah and make him play quarterback for them next year? That's what they're doing.
It's wild. 256-234-6221. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensigreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit Sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Looking for hometown service and name brands you can trust? Come to Presley Appliance and Furniture. From the best choice in appliances from Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and KitchenAid to home furnishings, Presley's is your one-stop shop for comfort and quality. And now we've added the Mattress Shop by Serta Simmons Bedding and top quality sheets and pillows from Caraloha. Shop Presley Appliance and Furniture on Cherokee Road in Alex City or online at PresleyAppliance.com. That's PresleyAppliance.com.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
At Central Alabama Community College, we provide a quality education that will set you up for success. Whether you're pursuing a degree or advancing your career with technical training, CAC offers premier programs at 4 campuses in Alexander City, Childersburg, Prattville, and Talladega. From industrial, electronics to machining, our students are prepared for the workforce or further education. At CAC, you'll enjoy vibrant campus life, exciting athletics, and personalized support, all at an affordable price. Your future starts here at CAC. Apply today.
This is Kathy Holmes with Preparatory Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
Henderson & Coker is a premier custom general contractor located in central Alabama. With over 50 years of industry experience, Henderson & Coker has been crafting stunning custom residential and commercial spaces for families and businesses throughout Alabama and Georgia. If you're in the market for a top-of-the-line luxury home or specialized commercial work, contact the experts at 256-750-7383 and check them out on the web at hendersonandcoker.com.
Welcome back into the Auburn Blitz, presented by J.A. Smith Construction and Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Our phone number's there at the bottom of the screen, 256-234-6221. During the break, J.J. and I were discussing a couple of quarterback options that are out there on the table and some of the contract negotiations that are coming down, which could end up being in play for Auburn and others as we move forward without kind of a direct understanding of how all of this is going to play out. Maybe talk about Mensah that you were just talking about.
All right, Darian Mensah's the quarterback at Duke. Had a great year as a talented player. Duke took him from Tulane last year. Miami needs quarterback, and they offered him $6 million to come play for him. The problem was he had already signed an NIL deal with Duke to pay him $4 million. So Duke is saying basically we own his NIL rights. And if you're going to sign him, you got to pay us our $4 million plus the $6 million you're offering him. So now he becomes a $10 million quarterback. Miami is actually willing to do it, but Duke is still holding that contract and going to court and basically saying we own his rights.
Yes, because even if we do take that payday, we don't want to take the payday. We want our quarterback.
They were out of a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? So Duke is basically saying, under the terms of this contract, we have to release him, and we're not releasing him.
Is that a way to overcome not having contracts, JJ?
I think you've got to have. I think you've got to have contracts.
I agree with you.
I think.
But if they're dead set, they're not going to have that happen. Is that a way to overcome it right there?
Maybe.
I mean, it feels it makes it at least a little painful. Mm-hmm. You know, it doesn't mean that tells you how much money's being thrown around out there. We just said Miami's willing to pay $10 million for a quarterback this year. It's wild that's where the market is.
Yeah.
But one thing that we've been having a conversation on through last week, and I'd like to get your take on it. There are some programs out there that may be able to go out in the high school ranks and get a top-notch 5-star plus athlete, maybe at left tackle or running back or quarterback, and pay them the dead money that it's going to take to sit over there on the sideline and develop for a couple of years. I would be willing to say that there's only 5 to 10 programs that are run well enough to pull that off. Mm-hmm. You happen to be a fan of maybe one. You had Ty Simpson sit for a long time. If Keelan Russell gets out there on the field after a couple of years of sitting, that would be another. But I don't see that being the case, and I'm speaking from an Auburn fan standpoint that has lost Walker White 2 years ago that we were all excited to get. Mm-hmm. Good piece, helped us get a lot of great receivers that seemed to really like him on 7-on-7s and things where they were able to play with one another. And we go out and we get the top recruit that Auburn's ever gotten in the high school ranks from a quarterback position in Deuce Knight.
Right.
Have him, pay him whatever we paid him, develop him for a year, and then he heads off to Ole Miss.
And I think, the thing with the quarterback, the player, whether it's quarterback, left tackle, whatever, this is something I always appreciated during Saban's run because he always did this. He always had – the player knew what the plan was for them. Mm-hmm. You're going to redshirt for a year, and then I'm going to work you in on special teams, and you'll get a few snaps. By your third year, we expect you to be a heavy contributor, maybe a starter. And if you're not, you can transfer out after that year. You know what I mean? And so as long as the player has a plan. I thought probably the biggest portal news for Alabama this offseason was getting both Mack and Russell to agree to come back and compete for that job.
Yeah.
Because having them both is going to make whoever the starter is better.
Yeah.
That competition is going to improve both players.
But Auburn's situation is – we haven't been able to win that.
Different. You're in a coaching change.
Yep.
And this is nothing against Alex Golish, but Deuce Knight didn't come to Auburn to play for Alex Golish.
True.
There's, and so it's one of those. It's one of those things where every situation's a little bit different, and every player is different. The kid at Michigan, the quarterback at Michigan, Bryce Underwood, was a Louisiana kid. And it was a bidding war between LSU and Michigan. And Michigan ponied up $8 million to get him. Because Larry Ellison, the third richest man in the world,
threw it out there.
Yeah. Right? But the deal with Bryce Underwood is I'm not coming to redshirt or sit for a year. I'm starter day one. And they agreed to that, and he's been started. He had some growing pains, but he's obviously a talented player.
Yeah.
You know. So every player is a little different. I think as long as your coaching staff has, and the GM, which has become such an important role, has a plan that is clearly communicated to the player, and you're following that plan, then I think that's fine. And I think most players will, okay, yeah, this is the plan for my development and how you're going to get me. And when I do get there, this is the plan for how you're going to reward me monetarily for getting there. Right?
I think
Kirby Smart talks about that a lot, right? They have one level for incoming freshmen. You have a level for contributors. You have a level for starters. And everybody knows what that is. So you know it going in.
It's a general manager.
Yeah.
It's a pro setup. The very difficult thing, and this is crazy, this has happened within a couple of years, because I can remember only a few years ago sitting out at a soccer match and talking to a friend of mine and going, can you believe Ohio State's paying $20+ million for their roster this year?
And LSU's breaking 50.
And LSU's breaking 50 in only a couple of years. And the other thing that's gotten crazy with the numbers that you hear that are thrown around is put yourself in the shoes of the general manager trying to put together a roster right now in today's environment for $30 million that you think can compete.
Or 25.
I can't get my head around it.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean that Indiana didn't, because I think they did. But it's really hard for me to think that we're going to pay Kansas City Royals price when there's the New York Yankees right across the state line paying 3 to 4 times what you are.
Remember this, too. You're still dealing with the disbursement of talent.
Yeah.
So I don't care if LSU spends 50. You're not going out there and running off undefeated season after undefeated season like I think they expect. So if you're Lane and you go 8-4 next year.
Oh, man, you didn't get your money's worth.
I mean.
And then what James calls in, 256-234-6221, and says is you take that gold trophy back home, you put it in the trophy case, and it's like, where's my next $50 million? Because you forget about that within a day or two.
And you create an expectation. The portal's more expensive than high school recruiting.
Yeah.
And you create this expectation. Every player in America now knows if I want the big money, LSU's who I need to call.
Wow.
So everybody's going to be coming after you for maximum dollars every year. I'll be curious to see how long that lasts.
Give us a call when we come back.
I'm Joseph Dean with Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation in Dadeville. We are located at 16797 Highway 280, which is on the corner of 280 and 49 North. With an on-site crematory in Opelika and a cemetery in Tallapoosa County, we are a full-service funeral home. To get in touch with us, feel free to come by or call us, 256-750-0381. And for any other questions, you can visit the website at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
A fresh start begins at home. This new year, Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is bringing comfort your way with maintenance inspections starting at just $29 and installations as low as $50 a month. Start the year right with Dixie.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
The all-new Winter Timber is now open. Located right next to the Walmart Market across from the Auburn Mall. If the outdoors is your lifestyle, Winter Timber is your new headquarters. From rifles, ammo, and hunting supplies, camo, and all the outdoor essentials, they've got it in stock and ready for you. Winter Timber is here to serve Auburn, Opelika, and the entire Lake Martin area, and they'll make the drive worth it. For the best selection and the best service in outdoor gear, one name says it all. Winter Timber, the best in outdoor needs.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your vehicle or boat to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your boat or vehicle the right way. Located on Highway 63, just about 2 miles from Highway 280 in Alexander City, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328.
When you want quality, selection, price, superior financing, and a pain-free buying experience, look no further than Sons Automotive Group of Montgomery and Auburn. Sons of Montgomery offers the best selection of Kias, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. Conveniently located on Eastern Boulevard, Sons Ford of Auburn is the region's Ford volume dealer. And when you shop at any Sons location, they will maximize all incentives and financing options for anyone's credit. Whether Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Montgomery, or Ford in Auburn, Sons Automotive treats you like family because they are family driven.
Welcome back into the Auburn Blitz, presented by J.A. Smith Construction and Sense of Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. You need some heating right now, so give our good friends Wade Bennett and Sense of Green a call at 334-487-3555 if you're having issues with your unit out there. And J.J. wanted to segue back to basketball real quick and just run down some stat totals from that big win for Auburn on the road at Ole Miss last night. Now 12-7 overall, 3-3 in the conference, getting to that 78-point margin. And I said a key looking at the stat totals up to that point of the season that Auburn, when we were really rocking and rolling with Bruce Pearl and Stephen Pearl, kind of what he has always been known for, defensive basketball and coaching, we were only giving up 65 or some odd points a game. Going into last night, we're giving up 79 points a game on the season. Auburn holds Ole Miss at home down to 66 points is the key stat to me.
Yeah, well, 36% from the field, too.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss only shot 15 free throws. So that means you're playing good defense without fouling. Which is that's good defense. If you're playing it without fouling, that's really good defense.
It is, and you look at the shot selection for Auburn, you may go, well, we may need to stop shooting as many perimeter shots. But to me, I think the percentages are going to work out, and at some point those shots are going to start falling. But the last couple of games have been –
I don't think you're going to shoot 12% forever.
No, you're not. And that's two games in a row. I think Auburn had a worse shooting percentage in the win a couple of games ago, I think, where we went 2 for 19 shooting the three. But if you look down at these stat totals, where did Auburn win the game? One, they played great on the defensive end, but second, great points in the paint production, but the ability for Auburn to get to the free throw line. You don't just every game get to the free throw line more than the opposition the way that Auburn's doing it without playing a certain brand of basketball. And Keyshawn Hall has the great ability to get to the free throw line as he does night in and night out, and Auburn outshot Ole Miss at the free throw line last night by 24 free throws, and outmade Ole Miss last night by 20 points. 20 additional points added to this Auburn team with 32 out of 39, whereas Ole Miss was 12 of 15. That's a big stat.
Getting to the rack. I mean, you got to penetrate and get to the rim, and when you do that, you force the defense to foul you. That's again good defense and penetrating, getting to the rim.
That type of game travels right there, and Auburn keeps winning the rebounding battle.
And the big one to me too, rebounding 42 to 26.
Yes.
That's a huge advantage rebounding.
Yeah.
And to be a team that lacks traditional bigs, that's a big stat.
It is, and why are you getting that? Well, one, I'll start with Keyshawn Murphy. The Ramsey High School product out of Birmingham that's been at Mississippi State, transfers into Auburn, has a little bit of a leg injury earlier in the season, which may have gimped him up a bit. But the last couple of weeks, he's played exceptionally good basketball for Auburn, and he did the same last night. Only 23 minutes for Murphy last night, but he gives immense production in those 23 minutes. 16 points, 14 rebounds, no true turnovers, just handled the ball well, too, when the ball went through him. And, JJ, from the bigs, Auburn can get 16 and 14. I don't think any of us expected that.
Yeah, you get 14 rebounds, it's a good day.
Keyshawn Hall goes for 19 last night, 6 rebounds. Tahad Pettiford got it going late in the ball game. One of them a highlight dunk that we saw in the last few minutes of the ball game. He ends up with 17 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Sway gets his third consecutive 10-plus points as he goes for 10 and 3. Elijah Freeman 9 and 6. You're starting to get a little bit of production from the bench for Auburn. A little surprising to see Jovic only play 15 minutes last night. Comes back off of an outing where he played the entire second half, had 23 points in the ball game. Was productive when he was in there last night. I don't know if there was a reason to hold him out, but the way the game was being played, you would think he would have got more minutes than just 15.
Sometimes, too, I think, particularly, basketball coaches, you're bringing guys in and you're working your rotation, but then when you get a lineup in there that's working, and it's like, well, I don't need to make a change just to make a change. We're playing good basketball. Just keep it rolling.
Well, let's talk a little SEC basketball here and start it off by going through the upcoming schedule for Auburn. Again, Saturday, you're on the road at Florida. That's 3 p.m. tip. 3 p.m. tip on ESPN. Always a tough place for anybody to play, especially Auburn at Florida. If you can go in there and play well and give yourself a chance, Auburn fans, I think, would be thrilled by that. But muted expectations from here for me.
Yeah, Florida still looks like the best team in the league. Not sure they're as good as they were last year, but their guard play is starting to pick up, and they lost the best guard in the country last year. So guard play starting to pick up. Florida looks like a team that could be there right at the end.
The other 3 games coming up for Auburn: at home against Texas on January the 28th. That's at 6 o'clock. Then they go back on the road on January the 31st to Tennessee. That's a 7:30 tip on ESPN. And then Alabama with the first matchup with the Crimson Tide this year on February the 7th. Again, it looks like that's at 3 or 3:30 on ESPN too. So, very tough schedule coming up for Auburn in the next 4 games. But when I look at all 4 of those teams, we've seen holes in all of those teams up to this point in the season, including Florida, who didn't have a great start out of conference this season. Feels a little bit like last year. So can Auburn at least go 50-50 in those 4 games?
I think that's got to be the expectation, right?
Yeah.
We've got to get 2.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can steal a 3rd one.
If we get the 2 and you stay on course, you stay 5-5, and you're looking down the line, let's see if we can get to 9-9, 10-8, and sneak into the tournament. I'd be thrilled with that. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
At Central Alabama Community College, We provide a quality education that will set you up for success. Whether you're pursuing a degree or advancing your career with technical training, TAC offers premier programs at 4 campuses in Alexander City, Childersburg, Prattville, and Talladega. From industrial, electronics to machining, our students are prepared for the workforce or further education. At CAC, you'll enjoy vibrant campus life, exciting athletics, and personalized support, all at an affordable price. Your future starts here at CAC. Apply today.
Bundle your home and auto and save money with State Farm's personal price plan. Contact State Farm agent Ron Carroll today at 256-378-6631 or visit him on Highway 280 in Childersburg. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer availability and eligibility may vary.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensigreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carry or cool cash rebates. Visit Sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Central Alabama. This is our home. It's where we work, where we play, where we raise our families and grow old. And in the unfortunate event we become sick with cancer, thanks to UAB Medicine Russell Medical Cancer Center, this is where we heal also. We have invested in new technologies and expertise so that now we're able to treat all sorts of cancers and you never have to leave Tallapoosa County. UAB Medicine Russell Medical Cancer Center. Compassionate, convenient, collaborative cancer care right here at home.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare. Serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Buying a home or property can be the biggest investment of your life. The Wisdom Firm is licensed to close any property purchase in the entire state of Alabama. The offices on both Bent Creek Drive in Auburn and Highway 49 South at beautiful Lake Martin. The Wisdom Firm has you covered. Give Travis and his team a call at 334-826-0722 or check them out at www.auburnlegal.com for all your real estate closing needs. No representation is made that the quality of legal services is greater than the quality of legal services made by other attorneys.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Welcome back into the Auburn Blitz. I want to thank a great corporate partner and sponsor of our segment right here in Pepper Tree Steaks and Wines. 2 great locations, one in Montgomery and one there in Auburn. Stop by and see them. And they're our sponsor of our post-game shows. So Brett and Faith following even basketball right now, but of course all of football. They'll do a post-game show, and that's brought to you each and every night. Afternoon, late night many times in football by Pepper Tree Steaks and Wines. JJ, I'm going to take advantage of having you up here for one segment. I'm very proud of and I'm giving you all the credit for this, for what we've done with the HSA scoreboard show. We have grown that thing. You'll have to give specifics on it because I don't know it off the top of my head, but we have grown that thing by leaps and bounds year in and year out. So high school sports, very important to us.
It's fun too because like I met a guy at a gas station the other day, recognized me from the scoreboard show, and he told me he officiates games, high school games, and he said the whole crew, that's wherever they go, whatever game they're doing, that's what they listen to when they're going home to catch up on all the
25 plus radio stations in the state that carry it.
20-ish.
20.
Yeah, depending on the year. Some years it's a little more, some years a little less.
And we've been doing it for a dozen years. 14.
I think this one coming out is going to be year 14.
Oh, man, we've been doing things a long time, and we're proud to be doing it. It's our 18th year overall with the HSA Radio Network, and it's grown every year. And why am I talking about this on an Auburn show? Because I think high school recruiting is going to lean on some of the decisions that are being made with the topics we've discussed, which is NIL, transfer portal. I think the transfer portal is a massive, massive storyline when it comes to high school recruiting here in the state of Alabama, because if they don't clean that up, it's just too big of a risk a lot of times to highly recruit in the high school level like we have in years past. So I think that's going to be a key. But, some of the conversations that are going on this week with public and private school splits and how that's going to play out if they're playing under different rules and Choose Act money and keep on blah, 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 blah. I don't have all of the answers, JJ, so I'm looking at you. Do you have any of them?
I don't, except that I think if you're going to have a state athletic association, then the decisions and the rules within it should be made by the member institutions. That's why you have an association.
Why have it if you don't?
Yeah, that's right. It's just it's no different than a professional sports league, the NBA or the NFL, right? You have the NFL. Everybody loves to blame the commissioner. Well, the commissioner works for the owners. Mm-hmm. That's why I always laugh when the NFL is just setting up Kansas City to win all these Super Bowls. So you're telling me that Jerry Jones is like, yeah, I don't need to win a Super Bowl. You're right. We need to have Kansas City win them all.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones ain't going for that.
Not thinking that way.
So when you have an association, the member schools, and there's going to be disagreements, whether they're public or private.
Why you have boards in anything.
That's right. But they all need to get together and have votes and arguments and discussions, and then you pass a set of rules. Whether it has to do with transfers, whether it has to do with scheduling, whether it has to do with the size of classification, how the playoffs are structured, whatever it is. There is absolutely no need, unless there are children being harmed, to have a government entity involved in it. Let the association do what they do.
I think that the government has backpedaled a little bit, but we'll see on Friday how much. We'll see whether Kay Ivey thinks that she and the powers that be in the government know better than the association on how to administer high school athletics. I will say, as the layperson business owner that has unfortunately happened to be in a post within the government and, say, a workforce development facet, I have witnessed some very, very poorly operated boards and things before in my life.
Sure.
But I've never witnessed what I've witnessed the last few years by government-run entities here in the state of Alabama. It's not all of them. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the idea that we're going to lean on the government to make the decisions here is almost humorous to me.
Well, it's like I said, it's just the thing that everybody loves to, the AHSAA, the AHSAA, the AHSAA. There is no, the AHSAA is only an association of
the member schools.
The member schools. So it's not, the AHSAA is not an entity that exists outside of the schools.
No.
It's an entity that exists within the schools to to govern these things.
The central board puts the executive director in place. It's no different than a chamber of commerce where the board of directors, and they're the ones that administer them, and they decide whether they're good for the job or they're not, and they can decide it yearly.
It makes perfect sense to me that if you're going to change high schools, and that there, especially if you're remunerated in some way, that there would be a sit-out period.
Yep.
Because otherwise, you're going to wind up with high school football in the state becoming like college football is right now, which is a mess.
It's a mess, and there's issues all the way up and down, and I'm not blind to it. Do I like it? I can't stand it. It's difficult to watch the direction it's going, but at the end of the day, a lot of decisions are going to be made this week, and I just want to take the time to talk with you because I do feel like that many times we're on the airwaves talking high school sports maybe as much, if not more, than anybody out there. We love it. But the last thing that I want to see happen is the state of Alabama or government in general think that they can run things better than an organization that has been in place for a very long time to do that job.
Built by educators.
Yes.
People who do this for a living.
Yes. So for JJ, I'm Randy Lee saying thanks for tuning into the Auburn Blitz.